Good morning, students. Welcome to my YouTube channel once again. Today I am going to focus on the chapter of class 10, current electricity. Very important chapter, very interesting chapter, students. More than written work, more than copy work, it's understandable thing. If you understand, it will be forever in your mind. I will begin with this chapter, the basic 3 points: charge, current, resistance. Charge, current, resistance. In our daily life also it's important. Current is very much important for our electrical appliances. Charge, without charge, current is not there. And resistance. Resistance, in other words, we can say, like for walking we use frictional force. For every work we need friction. In the same way, somehow resistance is also important. But how they are defined, how they are categorized, let me tell you. I have taken a diagram. You can see I have taken a diagram of a conductor. What it is? It's a conductor. Conductor is the material which conducts electricity. Very simple sentence. I will define it in a different way. Conductor is a material which have some free electrons in it, or some electrons in the free state. Because of this nature only, they are capable of conducting the electricity properly. But how do they do so? Apart from these electrons, there are some positive ions also present within the conductor. When we supply potential difference across this conductor, unit positive charge we are supplying here. So when we are supplying the potential difference there, the electrons gets a direction. They need to move. They start movement. And while doing this phenomena, movement, there are some patches they form where they collide with each other. Yes, students? They collide with each other, and because of this reason only, some obstruction is created. This obstruction in the path of current is known as resistance. Okay, students? Resistance. It is denoted by capital R. Charge is clear? No, I have not defined yet charge. The total content flows through the cross-sectional area. The total content flows through the cross-sectional area of the wire is known as charge. It is denoted by capital Q or small q. SI unit you know, Coulomb. Once again, the total content flowing through the cross-sectional area of the wire is known as electric charge. It has two types, negative and positive charges. And the total charge flows through the cross-sectional area per unit time. When you divide this charge with the time taken, then we find what? Current. Okay, students, SI unit is ampere. You know that, it is there in the book also. Very simple thing. Charge is clear, current is clear. If you have doubt, you please write down in the comment box. I will be waiting for that. Resistance. When we supply the potential difference across the ends of the wire, the electrons gets a direction. They need to move. And while movement, what happens? They collide with each other, some of the electrons. So they are creating resistance there. But the electrons which are supplying the charge to the appliances, those are only the participating electrons. So the total charge, how we can calculate? Total charge which is reaching to the appliance. It will be calculated by this formula, students. It is the formula to quantize the charge. How much charge is actually reaching to the another end of the appliance? So capital Q, that is total charge which is actually gettable, that is number of electrons participating into the charge of each electron. So I hope the charge, current, resistance, what I told you here, it is much more clear to you. Now you will focus on the next topic, that is factors affecting the resistance. So now students, after clearing this topic, charge, current and resistance, it's very important us to know that which factors are actually affecting this resistance. If we'll know about the factors affecting resistance, we'll know about the factors affecting current also. Okay. First point I have written material of the wire. Second point I have written temperature. Third point I have written length of the wire. And fourth point is area of the wire. Let's Try to understand this. Material of the wire. Suppose students, I take silver and copper. If I take silver and copper, you know silver is the best conductor we call. Why do we call? Have you ever thought? Because the number of free electrons present in the silver is much more than any other conductor what we use in our daily life. So if the number of free electrons increases, the chances of conductivity increases. If chances of conductivity increases, then the resistance decreases. Clear? Temperature. It's normally we don't use this temperature because we don't heat the wire and we use it. But on a certain circumstances when temperature plays an important role, when we increase the temperature, what happens? Temperature increases and kinetic energy of the particles increases, we know that. So the electrons' tendency to move becomes very faster. So when they try to move very fast, in that case what happens? The chances of that collision becomes also increases. So when the collision becomes increases, in that case what happens? Resistance also increases. So temperature increases, the resistance of the wire will also increase. Length of the wire, very important. Resistance is directly proportional to the length of the wire. If you increase the length of the wire, the resistance will also increase. Clear? Let it be question number 1. And inverse relation. Resistance is inversely proportional to the area of the cross section. If I take two pieces of wire like this, suppose, you can see what is the difference. It is the thin wire, it is a thick wire. Area is more here. Area is more here, area is less here. So area is more means what? Electrons are getting more space to move freely. So there will be less chances of collision. Correct, students? So area increases, then resistance decreases. Inverse relationship. Okay. Now we'll mix up these two conditions together. Then we'll find that which equation is being formed. Let's do that. Let's do this. When we'll mix up these two equations together, then what equation we get? Very important expression, students. So R is directly proportional to L and R is inversely proportional to A. When we'll combine these two, it becomes R is directly proportional to L by A. To remove this proportionality sign, we have to place a constant and then we'll put the equal to there. Then R is equal to rho L by A. This sign we have used for density of the material also. It is known as specific resistance. What it is called, students? Specific resistance. Its SI unit is what? Ohm meter. One important thing I am telling you. Resistance of a wire can change depending upon its length and area, right? Whereas this specific resistance never changes of a material. It remains same. If you are taking different length of copper wire, their resistance may vary, but their specific resistance will be same. So with this note, this point is over. Further we'll discuss about potential, electric potential and potential difference. Now students will try to understand what is electric potential. Potential means capability, capacity of the body, particle, molecules, what we can say. In terms of electricity, how do we relate this potential? Let's understand that. You can see I have drawn a particular boundary. You can see. And I have kept the unit positive charges here. And from that point, from this infinite point, I am bringing the charge to this point. Suppose it's my home. And electric potential is represented by V. So it's my house, as my name is Sanjeev, so I can write this Vs. What I have done, brought this charge from an infinite point to this point. It means some work I have done, isn't it? So the work done in bringing the unit positive charge from an infinite point to this known point is known as electric potential. Okay, students? So we can write V is equals to W, that work done, by the charge what we are bringing. This is the relationship for the electric potential. SI unit is volt. Very simple. Electric potential, once again explaining to you, the unit positive charge from an infinite point, the work done what we are doing from bringing that charge from an infinite point to a known point, this work done is known as electric potential. Okay, student? Now we'll know what is potential difference. Let's see that. Potential difference, which is also short we call it PD, and it is represented by del V. Del V is what? W1 minus W2 by Q. Now what is W1 and W2 you are showing, sir? Same activity we are repeating for a different point, suppose. Suppose it's a point and it is VA. We are bringing the charge from the same point to two different points. So the same work is done or different work is done? Different work is done. So the difference between these two work done divided by the charge what we have brought, that is finding the potential difference of the, understood? So this is electric potential, this is potential difference. SI unit will be same, volt. I hope the topic is clear till now. Next and last we'll discuss about Ohm's law. Very important, Ohm's law. Now student, we are going to discuss a very important topic for this chapter, Ohm's law. It's a very important one. Very important person also. Ohm was the person who has related the potential difference along with the current. And he is only the reason behind the resistance also. He found the resistance. He brought that term to this chapter with his experiments. Ohm, his name was George Simon Ohm. In the year of 1826 approx. Before that also he was experimenting a lot of things. And after lot of experiments he came to know the relationship between potential difference and electric current. His statement says, this law is stating what? The potential difference across the terminals of the, or across the ends of the wire, across the cross-sectional area of the wire is directly proportional to the electric current flowing through that conducting wire. Okay. So V is directly proportional to I. It means if potential difference increases, if the voltage will increase, then current will also increase. Very simple relationship. So V is equals to IR. Remove the proportionality sign and kept the equal to, so we have kept a constant. And there is no need to say what is R. R is what? Resistance, as I told you. Resistance SI unit is what? SI unit is what? Ohm. OHM, or in short we can keep with the sigma sign also. Omega sign, sorry, it's called omega. This omega sign represents the resistance. You will get a VI graph also in the book to represent how to verify the Ohm's law. You will get a graph of V and I. Okay, and you plot the values of V and I together, then you will find a straight line like that, which is also called VI graph. Okay, now in this pandemic it's not possible to go through the lab experiments, but you can see the in the book also it is explained there. I am telling you V and I we plot here, and we get a equation and we get a graph which is completely straight line. And suppose if it is not a straight line, then that is not following the Ohm's law. That is non-ohmic resistor. When we get a straight line for V and I, it is a ohmic resistor it is representing. It means which follows the Ohm's law. And when we get a curved line or any zigzag line, apart from straight line, it is called a non-ohmic resistor. Okay students, so with this note I think I should end this video now, and whatever problems would be there you can write in the comment box. In the next class I'll be coming with some interesting explanations related to this relations of VI and few more expressions. Till then, be safe and be happy and keep revising and keep finding your doubts. All the best. Have a good day, students.